Dear learners, so today we are commencing session for JavaScript. So till now we have come across from the fundamentals till the level of normal programming, objects relevant to JavaScript, right? So starting from our basic objects, browser objects, window objects. Then yesterday we have come across with document object model. Right? By that we have completed. Today we are going to see an important concept in JavaScript, starting with a cookie. JavaScript cookies. Actually, cookie is a variable. That's all, not more than that. So whenever communication is going to happen from server side and client side, uh, what sort of communication is going to happen? What type of data is traveling in between them? What are all the things communicated during response as well as the request, right? So those things will be stored by a variable that is called a cookie, right? Every web browser has this feature. Okay, it stores that information during the time of our browser. Normally it will store as a name value per separated by semicolons as a string, right? So it is also ready to give me the state of the user. Okay, how important the window objects are, the same way this cookie is also important. It may intersect with the privacy of the user, but it is mandatory when we are moving for log monitoring. Okay, so it is having both pros and cons. So we have to use it in the appropriate way from the administration side. So that's the major thing. Even a programmer could able to use this cookie in a effective way. Users of the system must know how to handle the cookies. I think based upon the privacy policy and data policy for the last 1 year, that whenever you are going to access any website, immediately you will get a notification. This website is using the cookie. Have you read the terms and conditions of this website? That it is ready to access your contents in terms of your cookie. So you have two options will be there. Uh, so okay, cancel likewise. Right? So likewise, the IETF framework, the W3 consortium have given a open notification that you have to give information about to the user that we are collecting your data for some analytical purpose. If they are interested, they will visit your website. Otherwise, they will leave your website. That's all. That preference has been given to the user itself. Right? We should not force anyone to do that. That's the reason why the role of cookie is having its pros as well as cons. So how a cookie works. So especially in the client server environment. So you know that in a more number of requests, when more number of clients are there at a time, number of requests will hit the server, right? How the server will identify that this request came from this client. To understand that purpose only, it is ready to move with the term called cookie. It is ready to create a variable called cookie. The server will restore, okay, from this client only we have received this request. For remembering purpose, it started such things. As well as from the client, from a client, multiple requests will go. Right? So how it will differentiate the client, how it will differentiate itself. So in that case, it started maintaining a variable that is called the cookie. So for two things, from the server side, it is ready to remember the varieties of clients. In the client side, it is ready to refer the varieties of multiple requests from the single client. So the cookie will play a vital role in storing the user context pertaining to both server side and client side, right? So browser will play a major role on this because cookie is a built-in context, built-in like environmental variable in the browser, right? So that's the way the cookie will work. So it's a demonstration, right? Whenever the client is requesting the service from the server, server will add cookie and send it to the client to identify that this particular client had requested the service. To make that request to be identified uniquely, this cookie will be added. Next time when the client is going to access the server, along with that the old cookie will be sent over with that. So by using that cookie, the server will identify, okay, so this is the client have asked this request already. By that it will service the corresponding client, right? So that's the pictorial representation of the cookie. How to create a cookie in JavaScript? So this is the way. We are having the document object dot cookie. Cookie is the built-in word which is equal to, within double quotes I have to give name and value. Name is the identifier, value is the corresponding entry that I have to store in the variable. That's the main thing. Okay, this is the simple way to create the cookie. So how to set and get a cookie? I think we could able to use our getter setter methods here, right? So I have created two buttons. So set cookie and get cookie. These are the corresponding values of the button. Okay, so I am ready to set the cookie for the user Duke Martin. Okay, so for the particular user I am setting the cookie. Okay, so whenever that user is going to work with that, immediately it will retrieve me the cookie value. Okay, when the user is ready to turn over on that, it is ready to show me the corresponding user is working over on the browser. Likewise it will ready to respond. But this program is not that much demonstrative about cookie. Actually cookie is a variable which is ready to store the value. While it is going to access the second time, it is ready to remember. A type of persistency will be there, right? So this is only to create the cookie and access the cookie. That's all. We are not going to use it as a cookie. Here we are using it as a variable. That's it. Okay, so this example demonstrates how to get the cookie and set the cookie. That's it. So what I am going to set, that is the going I am going to receive. So it will return me Duke Martin. That's all, not more than that. This is the way to set and get the cookie. But how to use the cookie, right? How to use the cookie? That's what we are going to see in this program, right? So you could able to see that there is a uh, drop down box. Sorry. Okay. So in the drop down box, you are having colors: yellow, green, red. These three colors are available. Okay. So here I am ready to store the color chosen by the user. I am ready to store the color chosen by the user. Whenever he is going to access the next time, based upon the cookie value, it will show the last chosen color. That's what the actual function will do, right? Function display will ready to store my color. Okay. Onload, we have that onload event, right? So the onload event will ready to find out and retrieve me. Okay, for this user, for this entry, already they have stored a value. By that, it will retrieve that value, nothing but the color. It will, for example, I have selected green. So when I'm going to press F5 again, it will refresh the window, right? In that case, it will remember and convey that last time the user has chosen this corresponding green color. Likewise, it will convey, right? That's what the actual usage of cookie, right? So that's what it has been given there. Function display is ready to register my cookie. Onload function will ready to recollect my cookie. The reason to write this code within that onload event is when I'm going to press F5 only, the page will refresh and reload again. So that is the reason why I wrote that cookie. To remember the cookie, I wrote this inside this function. Okay, so that's the main idea to understand how to use the cookie. Cookie attributes, right? These are the four major attributes. We will see it one by one. So the attributes are expires, max, age, path, and domain. We will see it. Expires. So we have given that cookie. Expires, it represents, it is talking about the validity of the cookie, right? Validity of the cookie. So by this time, the cookie will expire. That means the value available in the variable also will be deleted. That variable also will be deleted. That's what the method or the attribute expires will talk about. So the attribute expires from cookie will ready to convey me the validity of the cookie. That's it. Max age. Okay, so this is also a way to find out, or I could able to fix the validity for the cookie. The same thing, but here you have some constraint to fix up. I could able to give in terms of numbers. That is the major reason. In the previous thing, I could able to give in terms of date, but here I could able to give in terms of numbers. Okay, I will show you how max age attribute can be used when we are going to delete the cookie. On that case, this max age attribute will play a vital role. So here we have mentioned, right, 365 days. Every day will have 24 hours, right? Every hour will have 60 minutes. Okay, every minute will have 60 seconds. So if I'm going to multiply that, that could be the maximum age of a cookie. Likewise, I could be able to fix a number for this. Path. So what would be the role of path attribute? So this is the place all our cookies will be stored, right? Since I have not given any absolute path here, I have given path equal to slash, which represents that in the default server location, the value will be stored. The default location of browser, the nothing but the downloads where the content will be stored. So that's the meaning of an empty slash, right? The empty slash will represent for both server and client. Please remember, in the server, it is ready to represent for the corresponding download location, as well as in the client, it is ready to represent the corresponding download location of the browser. Domain attribute, right? So I have given domain rit.chennai.edu.in. So in this place only the cookie need to be valid. Rest of the places the cookie could not be valid, right? So this is something, a security measure that domain could able to give for the true cookie. This is an important advantage or merit of the cookie. Okay, within this environment only this cookie need to work. Likewise, I could able to restrict the role of cookie. If I'm going to access outside, it should not be able to work, right? It's like a VPN measure, right? I could not be able to access my office network outside my environment. So in that case, I could be able to mention for some particular internal sites, if I'm going to mention the cookie value that cannot be accessible outside my official environment. So likewise, so I could be able to fix up domain also for the cookie. How to store multiple values in a cookie? Okay, for that I have given this example. You could be able to see that I am going to store name, email, course. All these three values are going to be stored in the cookie. Here I have used the variable info. I have concatenated all these three values. That's all. Name, email, course. All these three values are concatenated and stored in the cookie. This is the way to store more than one value in the cookie. That means instead of using an array, I am going to use as a single variable. That's it. How to delete a cookie? This is what I have conveyed in the max age. In the previous thing, we have used max age for determining the validity of the cookie. The same way, if I am going to put max age equal to 0 means I could able to delete a cookie. If I am going to fix max age equal to 0, it states that the cookie got deleted. The value available in the cookie also erased. The variable also deleted. That is the usage of max age. Okay, so how to delete a cookie through a browser? This is the way, right? So I could be able to delete for last hour or last week or last month or from my installation. You have lots of options, time range to clear. So in that you could be able to see all the browsing history, form history, cookies, cache, active logins. So all those things will belong to these type of things only. Just click and you click clear now, it will erase and delete. That I could be able to do it explicitly through browser wizard. So this is an practical case. Normally we will do this, right? So by that cookie is over. Next, event handling in JavaScript, right? What are all the events are available? So pertaining to Java in AWT and Swing, what are all the events are covered? Most of the events will come here also, right? On click, okay, on the single click. What is the event need to happen? That need to be written within this event. On mouse over, when I'm going to keep mouse over on any text or any image, that has to happen. On mouse out, when it is going to come out. On mouse down, on mouse up, right? So when it's going to be mouse down means it is pressed. Mouse up means it is going to release it. Mouse move means when I'm going to take place, move the mouse continuously. So these are all the events which are available under mouse events. So normally this on-click event only we'll be using at the maximum case regarding mouse. Whenever we are going to perform any type of animations on that case, we could able to learn rest of the 5 methods. Keyboard events. So here we have only 2 events: on key down, on key up. These are all the 2 events. On key down means it is going to press. On key up means the key is going to be released. So these are all the 2 events that are possible with respect to keyboard. Form events, right? So this is probably we'll use most of the event handlers here. On focus. So where I, for example, when I'm going to open a web page, the control need to be available in the text box available, the first text box available in the form. Okay, so in that case, I have to use that on focus event. On submit. So when I'm going to submit the form, the corresponding event has to be triggered, right? Some message box has to come or an SMS has to send. So on blur means when the focus is removed from one element to other element. That's what on blur. On change. Okay, so when the user tries to change the value of a particular controls value, automatically this on change event will be fired. Okay, so that's the major events in form. Window or document events. On load, when window is going to when the especially when the browser is finishing the loading of your page. On load. On unload means I'm going to leave from that particular web page. On resize. So when I'm going to click the resize button of the corresponding browser. So all those controls can be handled through this window or document events. Okay. So some examples from that event which are repeatedly that what we have come across, right? Here you could be able to see I wrote a click event function which is ready to print something. Check the form tag. I'm having a button. Once I'm going to click, the event here I have mentioned is on click. It is a mouse event. Okay, so the button will have who's this. If I'm going to click that, what will happen? It will display this is Java T point in the browser. So here the click event, mouse click event is triggered. That's an example. And the same way, this is the load event, right? So when you are going to run this program, you will get an alert message. That's it. First, when you close the alert message, you will get this document.write method. The page is loaded successfully. Here I have commented, but you could be able to see it. So if you uncomment this tags in script, what will happen when you are going to open this file first time? It will show a alert box. The alert box page is successfully loaded. When you close the alert box, you will get the page is loaded successfully in the browser window. Right. So that's the event handling entities from this section. So please remember that these are all the events need to be focused on this, as well as the cookie. So how to create a cookie, how to set the cookie, how to get the cookie, how to delete the cookie, how to use the cookie, right? Those things are necessary to move forward, right? Happy learning. Thank you. We will see in the next session.